If you're working in a roofing company and your install times are averaging 3 months or more, it's not because of supplement times. It's not because of PAs. It's not because of whatever your owner or your manager is telling you. I'm here to tell you, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm here to tell you it's because they're robbing Pete to pay Paul. It's because they're taking that ACV check to pay for somebody else's roof that you sold 3 months ago to put that roof on, because they're so far behind the ball that's why they can't install a roof when you pick up that ACV check. If you're not getting an install date the second that you sign a work order, something's wrong at your company. Am I wrong? Welcome to Simplicity Power Podcast. My name is Alex Peters. I'm the CEO and founder of Simplicity Power, where we talk about sales, talk about roofs, talk about solar, talk about what's new in the industry. New at Simplicity Power, making us greater, 1% better every single day. Sitting here with Jaron Lynch. Jaron runs our roofing department. He's our VP of sales and roofing, our new roofing department. We started this relatively recently. We've both been in roofing for a long time. Our roofing division was the necessary next step to take Simplicity Power to the next level. We do so many roofs, obviously, hand in hand with our long-standing solar division. But it's time. We need to take that in-house, and who better to do it with than Jaron Lynch.
Thank you.
Jaron, how long have you been in roofing?
Going on 9 years now.
9 years. They say you never forget your first roof.
That's a fact.
So tell us that first roof that got you hooked in the industry.
Well, I've been knocking doors for about 7 or 8 days straight. Didn't have any luck getting on a roof. I was really thinking twice about roofing, at that point. I actually got on a gentleman's roof. We got up on the roof. This older guy, he let me on the roof. I went and got the guy that I was working with. I said, hey, come on, let's get up here on this roof. And we came down, and I went to introduce him, and the gentleman said, who are you? And I said, I'm Jaron. I'm the guy you just let on your roof. And he's like, I don't know who you are. And at that point, his caretaker came up behind him, and he said, hey, don't worry about it. He's not all there. He's kind of short. He has some Alzheimer. And but anyways, I took that as a win. We ended up selling the roof. It was it's kind of a funny story to me because all my friends, they actually give me a hard time about it. They said the first roof you ever sold, the guy wasn't coherent,
Hey, a deal's a deal.
And it was actually one of my biggest winners ever.
Really?
And it was a really, really good thing.
That's awesome. You're making that first deal?
Well, for my first 10 deals, I was at 10%. On that particular deal, I think I made $8,600. So anybody can do the math. If you were at a 50% split with somebody, that'd be, well over
50 grand.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And back to BME. So you ran BME for a while. So what was your biggest year? Your biggest sales year at BME?
I started BME at the end of 2018. I just came back from a hurricane. My best friend and I, Ryan Gamble, who I love dearly, him and I got together, and he knew nothing about roofing. I was a roofer. He was actually the money of the operation. Our first year, we put together $9.4 million.
There you go.
I think we averaged, for the year, for a 52-week year, we averaged 11.1 roofs a week. It was a pretty amazing thing that we did.
There you go. For reference, a Golden Door, I believe, is $1.5 million in sales. You did how many?
We did 9.4,
9.4,
but we had a bunch of good guys around us.
That's awesome. Your personal best sales year, what'd you do?
My personal, it's kind of hard to say that because I always train a lot of people.
Yep.
But I think I have totaled up to 2.7 just on personal doors that no one else touched.
Including the ones that you touched with your trainees that you're doing and they're training on.
I think $4.5 million.
$4.5 million in personal sales.
Yes, sir.
A year. That's awesome.
And we try to replicate, that same pay scale, as we go. It kind of gets the people more involved. They get that 10% and it gets them kind of interested, because it breaks it down to real small numbers for them. And they say, oh, I made $800 on this. Hold on. That'd be $4,000 if I did this on my own. And I think it's a really good way to help train people.
Yeah,
some things,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you train hundreds of people, you've ran companies, done all kinds of stuff, been around the block. Why are you at Simplicity?
Well, I met Alex about 4 years ago. I used to buy some cars from Alex, and one day we're sitting there, and I'm waiting on the financing to come back, and he starts talking about roofs. I'm like, hey, hold on. He's talking about very special roofs, okay? He's talking about some metal roofs. I said, well, where did you learn that? And he told me that he did some roofing on the weekends with a buddy named David. And matter of fact, I had worked with David at J. Duncan Roofing where I learned the metal industry. And I bought probably 4 or 5 more cars from Alex over that time. And I think my second time in there, I made a pass at Alex to come work, you know. And he'd already told me that he was loyal to David. Well, I went in there about 3 years later looking for you. And sure enough, they said, no, he's actually working for a roofing company or some solar thing. Well, I called Alex immediately, and I was pretty upset about it, you know. He said, man, I told you I was going to do this. So it was an amazing thing. I watched Alex over that first few months grow, and then over the next few months, double that. And like what you had done when I talked to you a year and a half later at that point, to after you, when you got into this, I was just amazed. I actually came down to a blitz of yours in Odessa. There was 45 new door knockers there at that time. I watched the way y'all had that set up, and it was something I had never seen before, and it really grabbed my attention. And I came to Alex, or I came to you, and I had made a pass at you and said, hey, I'd really like to do this on the roofing side together. And that's whenever you said, well, you know, you started thinking about it, and then we had a meeting. And the main reason why I landed here is because your ability to grow a sales team and the camaraderie is just amazing. I'm an old dog that has to learn new tricks, right? You know,
Yep.
I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like the CRMs, and I don't think Alex has not one person that doesn't walk around his office with a computer. And after I saw that, I knew that this was going to be my home. And it all just lined up, and you know, especially after I met you in the car business, I just, everything that Simplicity is doing is where I want to be in this industry.
That's awesome. So with your sales team that you're doing now, what are some things you've seen hundreds, if not thousands of new reps come through your doors, come through your training, right?
Right.
You've had some big winners, and you've seen a lot of guys go out and burn out. What's the biggest difference between the guys that win big and the guys that burn out in the month?
Oh, the guys that win big and then burn out. I think the guys that win big, they know there's really a couple things. Every no is closer to a yes. What happens is they'll get a whole bunch of deals in the pipeline, right? They get all these deals and they start projecting these commissions. And then they take a day off. And then they take 2 days off. They take 3 days off. Hold on, wait, this check is coming. Hold on, wait, this check is coming. And then what happens to those guys is you'll lose a deal. They'll go with somebody else. And before you know it, they're in a financial hardship. There's kind of a rule, and it's my personal rule in roofing, is you have to do 3 things a week. You have to open a claim, you have to run an adjuster, and you have to sign a contract. Now, we like to do all 3 of those twice in the week. If you do sell 2 roofs a week, you will pay $250,000. And the problem is people get busy after they get a bunch of claims open. 4 or 5 weeks later, now they got a bunch of adjusters. Now they're producing roofs, and they always stop short on that one thing, and that's filing new claims. And that has to happen. So the most people that get burned out, really what they do is they get complacent. They get a couple big checks, and the real winners in this industry, they're always waiting on the next bigger check.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of, it's, you know, and I always wanted a bigger check. The office used to call me when I worked for a couple companies, and they would say, hey, would you please cash those checks? And I'm like, hold on, I'm waiting for a bigger one. I don't want to go to the bank yet. And that's just kind of, it's always been my rule. You know, you always have to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
And treat it like a 40-hour job. You know, if you work 40 hours, which I can't remember the last week I only worked 40 hours.
Yeah. Amen.
You know, but that's just the thing is, you really, really keep going as hard as you can. And know there's always a win waiting right around the corner for you.
Amen. You've probably seen a lot of guys come in, like different jobs, all kinds of stuff. You know, a lot of people look at sales. This is like the biggest thing that drives me insane is all these people, they look at sales like, oh, it's a last resort, right? Like, oh, you get some guy who's working at Chick-fil-A, who's working at 7-Eleven, didn't have a job, needed something to do, and they come into sales. For me, and probably for you too, this was not a second option job for me. Like I left a job that was paying me really, really well. Right? Company truck, the whole 9 yards, gas. Like I was getting paid, you know, before I got into sales. I came into sales because I knew it was better, right? I took that like leap of faith. I had the house, all the stuff. Took the leap of faith coming in and, you know, into sales many years ago.
Right.
Probably did the same thing. Like what would you tell somebody that's at a job right now, you know, making 70, 80, 100, 150,000 bucks right now? They want to get into sales. Well, if they're making $100,000 a year now, they get that 3% inflation raise. They're going to get $3,000 a year more, right?
Right.
Maybe $5,000-$10,000 a year more if they're really, really pushing it, really lucky, right? Coming into sales, you're talking about that's a you know $250,000 a year to do 2 deals a week. You're talking about a 2.5x increase to a guy that's already making $100,000 a year, or a 5x increase to somebody at a $50,000 a year job. It's a scary jump. What do you want to tell somebody?
Well, you know, believe in yourself first off.
Yeah.
Don't get complacent, right? I mean, this be real clear. The old 100,000 back in the day is a new 300,000.
Yeah.
I want to tell people to just really believe in yourself. Don't get stuck. You know, I was in a position to where I knew this was for me because I know I like to know that there's no cap on my income.
Yeah.
And even if people think they're not good at sales, the truth of the matter is work ethic will outshine talent every single day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the main thing that everybody needs to know. Get up, suit up, show up, do those things every single day. You will be successful. You know, and everybody needs to give it a try, you know, but it does take 4 to 8 weeks to really. I mean, I guess the people really want a consistent paycheck. They got to know they got a paycheck coming every week, and I guess that's back to our rule of thumb about the 2 deals or just 1 deal. Yeah, you do that every week for 8 to 12 weeks, week 13, 14, 15, and so on. You'll get a consistent paycheck. Yeah, and that's one
claim, one adjustment.
Yes,
one contract.
That's
every Friday
right.
You got a paycheck in your account, right. Just like a salary job.
Just like a salary job. Yes,
or better because most of them are every other week, right?
And you know, and there's also 2 avenues to all this. You know, you have your door. If you're not in the door knocking, you have ways to go get other work. You know, there's realtors, there's insurance agencies, all that kind of stuff. You know,
100%.
You know,
absolutely. So, they're about get up, suit up, get out, right? What's your morning routine when you get out? When you're on the doors, walk me through a day. What's a day look like if I'm?
Well, if it's the first 4 weeks, or if it's the first 3 to 4 weeks of just getting started for like a new guy. Yeah. Get up, study some footage. You know, find out about what you're selling, do some things like that. Go hit the insurance agency. Go talk to the realtors. You know, door knocking is something that you need to do between 4 to 8 in the afternoon this time of year. You know, our weekends are very, very important. Holidays, everybody's home. Mm-hmm. But you know, as you get going, my daily routine is if I don't have an adjuster after a couple days, I'm freaking out. You know, I'm completely freaking out. Majority of my days, especially this time of year being hot, I have an adjuster at 8 or 9 in the morning. Yeah. I get up and get out of the house. I try to get some physical activity in, maybe go to the gym, get myself going, get out in the field. Then, you know, what the most beautiful thing about this job is, though, Alex, is it allows me to, my son has something going on at school. Yeah. You're not going to ask me, like, if I say, hey, I need to go do this with my kid, you know, you're going to be mad at me if I don't go. Exactly. Right? You know? Exactly. There's flexibility in what it is we do, but I always work to the bell. You know, there's another thing that I do, and I tell my guys, is it's not because you want to get off at 5 or 6 or because mama wants you home at 5 or 6, right? If you haven't got a deal that day and there's sunlight left, you don't quit at 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to quit when the sun goes down. And if I've been getting my butt whipped all day, it's always that last door when the sun's going down.
It's always that one more door.
It's always that one more door.
Home, one more door.
Right. That's it, you know, and I try to tell everybody that. My guys will call, and I'll see on the group chat that they're struggling, they're not having any luck, this area is too hard hit. There's always a door where someone hasn't been home when everybody else has been knocking that door.
Yeah.
There's always a new homeowner, you know. I always tell them, well, you know the rule. And then they'll always call me 8 or 9 o'clock that night. You're so right. I hit one more door, and I got a deal. And that's the main thing is the flexibility this creates. But I do put in 60, 70 hours a week. I think I left the house yesterday at 6 a.m. or 6:30. I didn't pull into my driveway until 10 o'clock. Now, that's not how everybody has to do it, you know. I'm running a lot of the production side of things.
That's the reality of somebody that wants to make 7, 8, 900 grand, $1 million a year.
That's right.
But you talked about 4 hours, right? 4 to 8 p.m.
That's correct.
Talking about 4 to 8 p.m.
That's
We're
right.
talking about file one claim a week.
That's
sit
it.
one adjustment a week, file one contract a week.
That's right.
Okay. If you're new and you're just getting somebody on a roof to go file a claim and learn how, I mean, you're talking about brand new. You're talking about at least an inspection an hour.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
You're talking about
absolutely.
4 inspections in that first day. One of them should file. So let's say somebody brand new, they come in, how long until they're getting their first win? Until their first claim?
I try to get 72 hours.
Within 72 hours is when they're getting their first deal?
Is when they're getting that's when they're getting their first claim open for sure. And now, now I also go make that happen for my guys. If I see somebody struggling, I'll put them with somebody, or I'll personally go out because if you just teach someone a script, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for them to just go out there because they get stuck at the door after a minute or two. They just don't know.
That's what most roofing companies do, though. They just give somebody a script and say, "Hey, go knock some doors. Go tell us."
It's killing our industry.
Killing it. So what do you do different in your sales team?
So something that you and I, whenever we brainstormed this whole entire thing, first thing you came to me and said was, "Hey, Jared, let's do something different. Just don't stick a bunch of people out there, file a bunch of claims on roofs that don't need claims filed, because they're going to get denied. And you start getting people's roofs denied, their first or second deal, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't for me."
Yep.
So what we're trying to do is slow things. We're trying to slow down to go fast. And I think what that looks like is bringing just 2 or 3 people in at a time every couple weeks, work with them one-on-one, get them going, stay really close to them. Don't bring 10 or 15 people or just hire a bunch of canvassers. You're going to lose all of them. I mean, and the going rate for roofing, and maybe I'm wrong on this number, but I don't think I am. Out of every 10 guys I bring in, I get 1.5 roofers.
Yep.
And
you're right. That's killing the industry. When you have to bring in 10 people to get 1.5, you just burned 8.5 people.
Well, how do these guys stand a chance?
Right.
How do they stand a chance? I hand you a script and a few rebuttals, and I tell you to go out. You know, I mean, that's just not going to work for anybody. I mean, I know when it worked for me. So really, what I want to do different here at Simplicity is work with these guys, spend more of my personal time out there in the field. Hell, Alex, I've got to a point now to where I can sit on the couch and my phone rings at least once a week, usually twice a week.
So how long does it take for somebody to get to that point, right?
I think
most people don't want to knock doors forever, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of people, they don't want to run a team and work 80 hours a week like you do to run these big sales teams and hit the volume that you do. A lot of people are happy, like, hey, if I can make $250,000 a year just running referrals, waiting for that phone to ring for somebody, hey, I got hailed on, you did my roof 3 years ago, or, hey,
Absolutely.
my neighbor got one. How long does it take for somebody to get a pipeline that's going to make them $250,000 a year just sitting?
I think 18 to 24 months is a golden rule of thumb. And I remember when that happened for me. It's kind of like I just woke up one day. And here's the thing. You do someone's roof and they pass your contact off. We try to leave a really good impression with the homeowner. We try to, and what that looks like is delivering, doing everything you say you're going to do from start to finish.
Yeah.
And so I think 18 to 24 months, you're going to start seeing a referral or 2 a month. And let's be clear, a referral or 2 a month is, let's just say an average of five, for a sales guy is probably six or $7,000.
Sure.
And that's if you just want to be lazy, right? So add one or two more to that, because now you got their neighbors, and it just works. It's a chain reaction. These things that happen, and it's really fun to watch. My favorite thing to watch with a new salesman is to watch them get their first wins, watch them go buy their first new truck, and be a part of that.
Oh yeah.
And, I want to look in the parking lot at the office and see a bunch of brand new trucks in the parking lot.
Exactly.
That's really exciting to me.
Exactly.
I want everybody. I don't want to fly first class alone. I want everybody to fly it with me.
Exactly. 100%. So that brings up a good point about the guys that just pulling referrals. What are your thoughts about all of these fly by night companies, right? We call them garage band roofers, right? All the guys, it's hey, Jim and his buddy, or Jim by himself, or whatever, sitting in his garage waiting for a storm, pick up some ACV checks. What do you think about those guys? What is that doing to the industry right now?
Well, I forget the number of how many roofers I say are in DFW. Every salesman that works for a year or two for a company, now they're going to go do it on their own. The biggest mistake is they get into a habit of robbing Pete to pay Paul. Mm-hmm. They are not committing to the homeowners what they say they're going to do. The turnaround time for an average claim in DFW for a lot of these companies is 4 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. And they try to blame it on the supplement process, something that we have dialed in completely. That's not the truth. So what these chucks and the trucks are doing is they're taking these people's money and they're running off with it.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of bad stigma around I don't trust you because you're a roofer.
Right.
And that's something that's really hard to overcome a lot of times. If it hasn't happened to them directly, it's happened to somebody that they know.
Absolutely. That's the thing that's killing the industry right now. Like above and beyond just what's happening to sales reps is it's these chuck and a truck roofing companies that go out, they pick up they start their company off of one person's ACV check. That's what happens.
That's it.
They go pick up that ACV check. They got 30 grand in their pocket, and they're like, "This is my roofing company now. Hey, I'm Jimbo's roofing company."
Yeah.
And that's what happens. They go out, they take that. That's their down payment on a car. And now they got to go sell another roof, pick up another ACV to put that first roof on. And then that depreciation and whatever's left over might pay for the second one if they're going to catch up. Or they get 3-4 roofs behind. And that's why you have these 6-month install times. This is the thing. I'll tell anybody out there, if you're working in a roofing company and your install times are averaging 3 months or more, it's not because of supplement times. It's not because of PAs. It's not because of whatever your owner or your manager is telling you. I'm here to tell you, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm here to tell you it's because they're robbing Pete to pay Paul. It's because they're taking that ACV check to pay for somebody else's roof that you sold 3 months ago to put that roof on, because they're so far behind the ball that's why they can't install a roof when you pick up that ACV check. If you're not getting an install date the second that you sign a work order, something's wrong at your company. Am I wrong?
Well, what's our turnaround time? 3 weeks at the most?
Correct. We're running 3 weeks.
And now, that's with the supplement.
That's with the supplement, exactly, right?
We try to turn it around in the week, don't we?
I want to throw this out to all the new roofers out there. If you think that you have to supplement before you can install on a roof that is less than 5 years old, you're being lied to. That ACV check is most of the money. That puts your roof on in any cash positive roofing company. I just want to throw this out there. Simplicity Power, we've operated on $0 in debt, right? There's a reason for that. We don't have to rob Pete to pay Paul. We stay positive. That's what all the good roofing companies out there are. I can name on less than both of my hands the number of roofing companies that I know that are installing in a timely fashion because they have the cash to be able to do it. Like, it's ridiculous. That's what gives roofers a bad name, is that robbing Pete to pay Paul. Period, point blank, end of story. That's what is causing the issues in the industry, period. I just got back from a big conference, the Win the Storm conference. Over 3,000 other roofers and solar guys at that conference. I look around the room and I'm sitting there in these Q&As and in these panels, and I'm listening to the questions that are being asked. And it's shocking to me how many sales reps think that it actually takes 6 months to put a roof on?
Right.
Or 3 months? Like, it's shocking. Like, it seriously, if you get a roof bought why can't you just put it on a week later, 2 weeks later?
Because they got to pay their truck payment. They got to take the family on vacation.
That's the problem. It's the garage paint roofers. And then the other thing that shocked me was the number of owners out there that are asking questions at these panels and sitting there and going through, and what they're searching for is that perfect system. That's what they're searching for. Roofing is not hard. It's not that simple. It literally is that simple, right? A joke. We're simplicity roofing, not complexity roofing, right? It's just that simple, okay? And what happens is all these owners, they get out there, they run into their first set of resistances, right? They rob Pete to pay Paul one time, and then what happens? They start switching systems. It's, I need this CRM, and I need this special process, and this specific thing. So what did we do? We took the process and said, look, this is really simple. Why do we have to complicate it? This is how it works. We file a claim a week.
There you go.
We set an adjustment a week.
Sign a contract.
Sign a contract a week. If our sales reps focus on that, and guess what our project managers focus on? If we pick up a check, can we install that roof right now? Can we supplement on the back end? Do we need to supplement up front? If we got to supplement up front, let's get it done in a timely manner. Our supplement time is 1 to 2 weeks at most.
Well, let's take it a step further. Even if it is an older roof and it's heavy depreciated, the problem is these guys do not have the working capital.
Right.
So what's the first thing you told me, Jaron? I love solar, but I really love roofing.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I didn't get into roofing off the bat is because I didn't have the funds. I'm going to do something different that everybody else doesn't do. I'm going to install roofs fast.
Right. All right, so we talked about sales reps. Let's talk about homeowners.
Okay.
Big problem is he's checking the truck, roofing companies all over. You've got the mega big box stores. Okay, you've got the mom and pops, you've got all the in-betweens.
Right.
When a homeowner's looking at who are they going to select as their contractor.
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, they shouldn't always just go with whoever got the roof bought. They need to make sure that they're going with somebody that's going to take care of them and doesn't have a 6-8 week or worse yet 12-month timeline to get that roof on for them. You're going to have leaks in between. They're going to have all kinds of things go wrong. That's the company that's going to run off with their ECV check. What's a homeowner need to look for in the contractor to know that they're not going to run off with their check, to know that's the company that's going to take care of it?
Check their credibility, How many roofs have they installed? Always being able to pass out plenty of references in the neighborhood, all those sort of things. Look and see if you're platinum preferred. There's a lot of, you don't get these certifications through the shingle manufacturers unless you're doing a lot of volume.
Absolutely.
And then they can check. I mean, if you make it on a platinum preferred, master elite, these are all different types of. They recognize, if you've installed a certain amount.
Absolutely.
They just don't pass those sort of things out to a chuck and a truck. There's that's a really important thing. To know who you're buying from, and that's what we have done. We work very hard for all the relationships that we have created, and. The main thing is what I try to do with homeowners is it's really what I think they want to see is set an expectation. Always tell them what you can and can't do. Be upfront with them. What we're not going to ever try to do is to set a homeowner up in a bad position to where they have a bad policy, right? And we're not allowed to talk about policy, but we ask certain questions to try to put them in a great position to win. I think the best rapport that we build with these homeowners is doing what we say we're going to do and try to build trust with them. Oh,
absolutely. Policy. So policy is a fun one. So when it comes to now, we saw, a year or two ago, Oklahoma going like crazy. Everything, cosmetic waivers, all kinds of craziness like that, right? People not getting covered. Texas, these metal roofs, right? Our favorite flavor, our specialty. And that heavy metal, stone-coated steel, cosmetic waivers left, right, and center. Obviously, those homeowners, they still need a new roof.
They do.
Right? That caulking goes bad. They got dents all over the place. I'd say 70, 80, 90, $100,000 roof sitting on their house.
The degranulation of them, you know, they just start, and then of course, they're still going to shed water, but
what are we doing to get them bought?
So what
like makes us special?
So that's one thing that we really specialize in. It is asking those certain questions without asking policy questions. We listen to what the people are telling us. When you're working with a professional, you can just tell me, a policy question to me is you can just tell me your insurance company's name. And that's as far as I need to go. That's how we try to service these guys that coming over. And we actually want them to go after those type of roofs. Like I said, like you said, policy is a very, very funny word. But, we're seeing something change in the market now. AAA, Liberty Mutual Safeco, they're going into an automatic cosmetic waiver. Now, you don't have to have a metal roof to have a cosmetic waiver.
Right.
When I hit a door and someone tells me AAA, I have to let them know up front, like, hey, your gutters are going to be out of pocket. Your gutters are not going to be covered.
Sure.
Now, you ask, what do? We are very good at showing functional damage. And what functional damage is it's been compromised. It's not a blemish. It's just not a little dent. And we have teamed up with some of the best people in the industry to push those things through.
So how does that work? So if I get a little hail hit on my roof,
okay,
on my asphalt roof, it's just a little mark. You barely see it, right? Why bother unless my roof is absolutely blasted? Why bother?
Well, that's the thing that we always try to educate these homeowners on. It's not just a blemish on your roof, right? Of course, here in Texas, they want 8 to 10 hail hits in a square. Now, a square, guys, is a 10 by 10 box. To total your roof, they do your front, your back, your right, and your left. They're going to do a 10 by 10 box. They want 8 to 10 hail hits. That little hail hits, it turns out as a blemish. Over time, what's going to happen to your roof is the matting, the fiberglass is going to start to show, which could lead to a leak down the road. And what we try to educate these people in doing is, hey, don't wait till you have a leak. Hey, Mr. Smith, you had a hailstorm, 4 months ago. We only have 8 months left to file this claim. So we work a lot of areas where we have a good storm date that was 9 months ago, and we try to let them know, hey, here in 3 months. Because you're probably not going to call in unless you have a leak. So it's your due diligence as a homeowner, if you've had a weather event at your home, to invite them out. Your policy actually states it, right? Have us out, let them sign off on it, because what happens? Mr. Smith, 14 months later after the storm, he has a leak. Now he wants to call. Mm-hmm. And what the insurance is going to do, they're going to come back and say, hey, listen, it's a craftsmanship issue. It's not a storm-related issue. And the main thing they're going to say is, why did you not call us out?
Why did you not call us out?
It's always better to go ahead and have the roof documented of the damage because, we call it insurance games. It's just a game they play. And what's something so great about us that we've gotten so big at this point, and some of the guys that we're working with have been in the industry a long time, they have a relationship with most of these adjusters. I would say 80% of the time when we show up to a home, if we do not know that particular guy because they're in from out of town because it's a big storm, we're going to know a colleague or something of his. We're not here to try to tell an adjuster how to do his job. We're not going to argue with the insurance company on a roof. We are here to service. We work for the homeowner. That's all we do is we work for the insured. We try to take them through the process and let them know. And also, just annual inspections is very important. Something else that we do here is if we put a roof on, we try to inspect that roof every year, document that damage for them. Now, do you want to call them out after every little piece of pea-sized hail? No, you don't. But the truth is we go and document that. You're under our warranty package when we put a roof on for you. And we do something different. We have a 25-year craftsmanship warranty. Keep allowing us on your roof. We'll document it in case insurance ever comes out and says that kind of verbiage to you. No, you had a storm. Well, no, here's a documentation and here's a proof that this was, not a craftsmanship error on our part. And you're saving face with the homeowner at that point.
Let's go back talking about the sales reps. What's the number one reason that you think roofers quit a company or quit the industry?
They're always messing with my money.
Oh, 100%.
That's, 100%. Let's be real clear. The quickest way to find out who somebody is mess with their money. Yeah. I think that's the biggest perk about coming over here to Simplicity. And you said earlier, I've been all around the block and things of that nature. I've seen the ways you don't want to get paid. Mm-hmm. I've seen some good ways to get paid. I think that's the value that we bring here is you run a huge solar company in the way you pay your guys. And that's one of the main. My job is very hard running a sales team if the people standing behind me are not going to financially do what I tell these people.
Absolutely.
Even if I make a mistake and I tell someone this is going to happen, well, I have to come. There's always someone over you. I have to come to y'all and say, hey, look, I told this guy. And the thing I know about what you're going to do, or what Simplicity is going to do, is stand behind the word that we gave them.
Absolutely.
We're going to do that every day of the week. We're going to get you paid as quickly as possible. That's the main thing. You know, I would really challenge some of our guys, you know, because they're always going to think about going to work somewhere else, you know. I challenge our guys, hey, now I don't want this to happen, you know, but let's be honest. Hey, go take another job somewhere else. And I'll keep your chair right here for you waiting when you come back, because you're going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You always think it's a little greener on the other side.
Oh, yeah. They always come home.
They always come right back home.
They always come home.
And I'm going to treat them with open arms because I've been there. And there's just a huge stigma, you know, something else that we've made a policy here. If there's something better for you and your family out there that's more rewarding for you financially, I encourage people to do it.
Absolutely.
I want to build a bunch.
Yeah.
I say this, I want to build a bunch of roofing owners, but I want to create such a tight-knit group of guys and be so transparent about our pay plan and the way we do things to where they never want to leave.
Absolutely. Jaron, what would you tell somebody that's looking at this and wants to dive into the industry and is picking a roofing company? What makes Simplicity different? What would they have to do?
We have some great training, some great training pay and things of that nature. If you're putting in the time, if you're doing these certain amount of things, that's something that we have created over here that's really, really good. You know, a lot of people want to come in, they just kind of want to relax, but I encourage people to come and try what it is we have going over here. Give me that 8 weeks, I will get you a consistent paycheck. Give me the time, put in the work ethic, we will get you paid one way or the other. There's a lot of great guys around us that are going to put you on a deal if you're out there trying. We're always going to find a way to get you paid if you give the time. I think that's the main thing different over here. We're not going to leave anybody behind when they're starting off as a sales rep.
I appreciate you, Jaron. Let's go get some deals. Appreciate you for watching. Tune in next time. We'll be back.